along the lines of, "What are you, some kind of stupid?"
I don't. Well, first of
Get
all,
the fuck out of here.
he doesn't have a cell phone. So first
But
of all,
cell phones.
if
Yeah.
cell phones were a widely distributed thing
yeah,
in 1991 or 1992,
Yeah.
if I had called him and said, "Dad, I can't find the remote. Do you know where it is?"
Yeah.
He would be totally confused at how stupid his offspring is.
he would.
He would be
Exactly.
sickened.
Yeah. He would definitely sit you down and have a talk. What the fuck?
Oh,
We here. This is the most hilarious story that I've heard about my dad in a long time. A story I didn't know. He and I were Levi and I were talking about ice cream recently, and you know, as a couple fat guys, we have a problem with like having ice cream in the house.
So we don't have it. We don't buy ice
Just don't
cream
do
for
it.
the most
Right.
part.
That's why I don't do Oreos and stuff in the house. People buy them for me like assholes because they're like think it's funny.
Yeah, it's like I don't buy really junk food or anything like that
Yeah.
because that means that if I do want something like that, I'll either have to make it
right.
or get up and go to the store to buy it, which is not happening.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's good.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
But if you do have it, you'll just eat that. If you have Oreos or
Possibly.
whatnot.
I mean,
or
I
ice cream or
I have a reasonable amount of self-control, but I do eat too much. If
yes,
how's your self-control?
terrible.
Yeah, it's
You
not
don't
good.
have-
It's not. I don't have it. I don't have it. That's why I don't gamble anymore.
Right. Right.
You know. What
Anyway, story about your
might
your
say
dad.
an addictive personality.
Yeah.
I want to hear
I-
about. I,
I
want to hear
asked-
the story about your dad.
So we were
I-
talking about ice cream, and he
I
says,
asked him if Dad ever sent him into the store to get ice cream.
no,
and
but my
he's-
mom sent me in for cigarettes before.
And I said that one time I was like 10 or 11 years old, and I think we were going to, I think we rented a movie or something like that, and the grocery store was right around the corner, and we stopped, and he sent me in to get ice cream.
You're like 10 or 11. First of all, no fucking parents now would ever dream of sending their 10-year-old alone into the store to buy fucking ice cream.
Right. Well, to buy
Or anything.
Right.
right. Exactly.
So
anything.
I go in and I'm perusing. I don't even remember what. I mean, I'm sure it was the standard fare and shit,
right.
but I remember I came back out with peanut butter ice cream, and I'm like, I must have thought I've never had peanut butter ice cream. It sounds really good. And I can't remember if it was later after it had been eaten or if it was directly after I got in the car. He said, "Never get peanut butter ice cream again."
I don't know why. I don't know why.
just calmly,
Just,
never
never.
get peanut butter ice cream
I
again. It was almost, there was disappointment in his voice. And it's probably one of the very few times that my father has ever been disappointed in me.
It was so, I don't want to say it was out of character for my dad, but I've never seen him really be that solemn about
Well,
some typically a real arbitrary fucking thing. Like, just don't
ever
fucking
again.
buy peanut butter ice cream again.
have you since though?
Oh yeah,
Okay. I'm glad
never
you
for
still do.
him. Never
Okay,
for
that's good,
him.
that's
I
good.
did
I'm glad you
see-
still did. It didn't ruin you for life
No.
on peanut butter ice cream.
I almost stopped at the store today because I said yesterday what I'm like, well, now that ice cream's in the house, now I'm thinking about what kind of fucking ice cream I'm going to buy tomorrow.
But
And then I saw Tom and Jerry's came out with Netflix and chilled.
Ben and
fucking-
Jerry's, not Tom and Jerry's.
Yeah, with peanut butter and pretzels and something else in it, some swirly stuff in it. I'm like, oh, well, guess we're gonna
Gotta-
Netflix and chill, Levi.
But as far as the peanut butter ice cream goes, I didn't buy it probably until I was, I don't know, 30.
Yeah. So
Because I just had it in my head that it's not
you don't
good.
get that.
Yeah, you don't get peanut
you don't
butter
get
ice
peanut-
cream.
who
And I
the
bought it.
fuck Gets peanut butter fucking ice cream.
Yeah,
Seriously.
I bought the peanut butter ice cream. I ate it. I'm like, this is really fucking good. What the fuck is wrong with my dad?
You want to know why he didn't get to right? because he said it with the same sternness you tell a child to not stick their finger in the fucking light socket.
Right.
So you're like, oh, I guess I just
Don't do that.
Right. I just accepted it as gospel. Don't get
so
peanut butter ice cream ever
goddamn
again.
funny to me. That is
No.
so goddamn funny to me.
That's good. That's good. I'm trying to think. I don't think my dad ever did anything like that. My dad was just the kind of guy that would he blamed you for everything. No matter what it was, like remote control, for instance.
Well, it
my
was
dad's
probably your fault.
no, it wasn't. Fuck that. I didn't watch TV.
So that's where you get that from.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. I mean, it's everyone else's fault. No, I know you touched it the last time. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about? I was outside playing basketball. I didn't touch the remote. My dad's like, no, you touched it. It wasn't the case.
Did you play basketball?
I did. Yeah, I was a big basketball player.
Really? Were you an athlete? Because you play volleyball now. I used to be an athlete.
No.
Look,
Play
volleyball.
volleyball.
It doesn't take excessive athleticism to play volleyball.
Yeah.
It helps.
It takes liking to be athletic. Kind of.
Not you've not seen our volleyball. It's different.
Well, you're out doing stuff, I guess.
It's-
It's athleticism for the
it's-
most part.
No,
we
no.
play what we like to call street volleyball. It's the worst volleyball you've ever seen in your entire
That's
life.
bullshit. You got to fucking put effort out. Do you dive?
At everything.
Oh,
Like-
that's the
like
problem.
I-
Even if
I
there's
said-
no chance I'm ever gonna fucking touch it. Yeah, I'm diving.
Like I
Yeah.
said, it doesn't take athleticism to play volleyball. It helps
It does
to
help.
be good,
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
but it doesn't take athleticism
No.
to play volleyball.
And you don't have to dive at anything. You can stand there and just wait for the ball to come to you.
yeah, try to kick it and break your toe.
Yeah.
It sucks. It sucks being.
That's true.
It sucks when you used to be athletic. You know. And then,
I was
you're
fa-
not.
I've been fair. I've never been really good at any sport. I've been basketball, I was okay. Volleyball, I've always sucked. Golf, I am the worst fucking
No, you're
golfer.
not.
We can tell you
Dude,
what,
There's
it's so
there's
bad.
people way worse than me.
Yeah, people that have never played,
people who don't know what a
and that's
golf club
probably
is.
50%. Probably 50% of people that have never played golf are still better than you.
Dude,
I
why do
think-
you say such mean things?
When it's time, when spring comes, we'll go golfing.
All right.
So,
I'll go. I
here-
like going.
When my brother and I used to go golfing once a year, it was always around our birthdays because our birthdays are close and it's in the fall. So we would go one time every year, and we didn't keep score. Really, there was no like keeping score of how many times it took you to get to the hole. It was how many balls did you lose. Whoever lost the fewest amount of balls during the whole day, they won. That's what was the winner.
That's a reasonable way to keep score.
Yeah,
It
yeah. It
still
didn't matter
sucks, but
how many times it took you to get to the hole. As long as you still knew where your ball was, you're good.
We should go golfing. They have that. We've talked about this on the podcast before, just because it came up in conversation. But that golf simulator place in Traverse is really
Yeah.
fun.
I've heard about it. I've not been there.
It's
but
really
I've
fun.
heard,
We should go.
I've heard we should.
It sucks to suck in front of people, like if there's people in the bar.
Well, that's why I like I don't know if I want to go to I want to go out to the course where you can be by yourself, and that's why I like going in the fall because no one else is there.
I joke around a lot, but when I'm on the course, I'm fucking serious about that shit.
Yeah, so you don't like to go with people who are.
Well,
No,
I
I
try.
No,
I
do.
do. I just fucking suck.
But I take it seriously, and you can suck all you want, but I take it seriously, and you will take it seriously. You will not
Okay.
fuck around. You won't drive like a fucking idiot
Yeah.
with the golf cart.
Oh no, I get
Or
what
anything
you're
like
saying.
that.
All right. Yeah, no. I'll try.
Don't act the fool.
I'll try, but I will be bad.
I've gone on Art Van Furniture golf outings before and fucking yelled at fucking people that are being fucking idiots.
People who aren't with your group.
No,
Yeah, just
I've
random-
never met them in my fucking life, but I know where they fucking work. I know where they work, and I can see that they're being fucking idiots. Stop being fucking idiots.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
you got to respect it. Respect
Yeah.
the game.
Do we want to bring up why you're really here
Yes,
today?
yeah, I think we should. We've been
We
putting it off.
we had the Queen versus Everybody, as I'm calling it, podcast the other day, because Josh thinks the best band of all time is Queen. We debated
Best
that.
rock band. I mean,
band, dude, stop
rock
it.
band.
To say band is to say rock band.
We
Yeah,
had
you
this
have-
argument
if you're
already.
saying- if you are
Band
Dude-
is synonymous with rock.
right, if you are if
For the
if
most
it
part.
is outside of the rock genre, then you would say folk band, or you would say indie band.
Yeah, but
something like that.
If
But,
it's- if it's-
I'm not fighting. I'm not saying maybe there might be a better folk band, right?
Well,
That's out there.
typically, if it's outside of rock and roll, you would probably call it a group.
A group.
Sure.
All right.
That being said, so we debated that. We finished podcast. It was fun.
And yeah,
And this is honestly doing this is not because we want to win an argument, be damned with everything else.
mm-hmm.
It is the conversation's really fun. Like this is probably the most self-serving podcast we've done so far, just so we can get
And-
our point of view
And
out.
it was
Right.
also upsetting to me because I failed myself at fucking just drawing a total blank
Draw a
at,
blank.
at fucking
Beatles.
calling out fucking Beatles songs
Yeah.
because
Put on the spot. It's tough when you're put on the spot. However, you were put on the spot with Queen, and you still because
So,
they're there because they're amazing. They're
I would
amazing
I would like to talk about the boy band thing because that's something that didn't sit really well with he or I.
Okay.
and so I want to know what you classify. What is your criteria to make it a boy band?
My point, and I don't know if it's necessarily a boy band, but it is when a studio or a company just randomly selects these great
Okay.
musicians and randomly puts them together. Like, you're a really good guitar player, you're a really good singer, you're a really good songwriter, or
Okay.
you're all good songwriters, and I'm going to make a super group, and we're going to put you together and throw you out.
well, that's a fallacy because the Beatles didn't form like that.
Okay, well, that
So did
I just
there are
learned
groups out there that were
that's
that's
correct.
very, very few
But-
of the major bands that we're talking about, or even B in that British invasion scene. Most of those bands were very organically grown, and were influenced by the Beatles. So they're
Yes,
holy
but-
shit, these guys are awesome. I want to do the same thing as these guys.
but
Those are individuals, though. Those are not studios putting these bands together. When you get bands like the Monkees, they were totally they were a
totally
boy
put
band
together. Yeah,
They were a boy band.
However, Beatles, when they first got to Beatles, were highly influenced by. Now, maybe later in the career, and maybe they were, and I don't know enough about the Beatles to really tell you.
Well, you should learn.
I should, but no. But the early Beatles is nothing like the Beatles that
Right,
you
because
hear
they
now.
evolved.
Right.
But they
Do you
were
know how they
influenced
evolved?
by the studios telling them what they
No.
should their sound should sound like.
But
They
bands,
weren't working.
But bands when they first come up, they have their shit. But then when they get signed by a record label, the 98% of them are told you play this, you play that.
Plus,
Right.
but it wasn't
I
like that
agree.
with the Beatles.
It was like that with the Beatles.
No.
I'm sure it
To an
was a little
extent,
bit.
maybe, but those guys were coming up playing songs from artists that they love from the United States, like Chuck Berry and Little Richard and stuff like that. The studio may have had to say, "Hey, this needs to be a little more polished, or that needs to be a little more," but they weren't writing the fucking songs.
I agree, and I think later on, I think you started to see the real Beatles come through. But
Well,
the
sure.
early stuff,
Thanks, marijuana. Thanks, Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
right?
You
But
know,
the early stuff was not. The early stuff was very created by the studio and by people saying this is what your sound should
but
be like.
that's
gonna-
they were already a band.
I know
They were
I know.
already band playing. They already had those songs before they went into the studio and were contacted by any record companies. They had their own songs. They wrote them and then brought them into the studio. And then a producer says, "Oh, you need to do this here. You need to do this
Right.
here." They're not shaping songs.
And I've heard, in your defense, I've heard the boy band label put on the Beatles before, because when they first came out with fucking "I Want to Hold Your Hand" and
Right.
shit like that, which to
They're
me
pretty.
they're still great pop songs, great pop rock and roll songs,
right.
but I mean they're. And I can understand the boy band lean that some people have for their opinion of the Beatles based on
Because there was
that.
the cute one
Yeah.
and the sensitive one.
Yeah.
And the fucking girls went nuts for
Yeah.
him. But if you're able to look past that, look past the facade,
I think that's a
But-
great boy band example or a great boy band definition. Like, because the chicks were into the Beatles, but so were the dudes, you know. And
But they
boy
also
bands, there's usually not a lot of dudes in
True.
the boy bands.
But the other thing the Beatles did not have, and again, we could, I'm not going to go on the boy band thing, but the other things Beatles that didn't have is they were not close. I mean, and again, I don't know enough about how they became a band and how they met each other, but they couldn't stay a band. They all had their own individual agenda, and they went. That's why they broke up. They would never get back together. The closest they ever got to get back together was after Saturday Night Live when they were going to give them $100 or $500.
First of
or
all,
something funny. There was a skit.
First of all, the best music, in my opinion, is made through conflict.
Well, yeah, but you got to stay together.
Sure, they stayed together for like 10 years.
Yeah, I know. But
I'm 100% positive if John Lennon was still alive, at some point they would have gotten back
They
together.
had talks about getting back together. It's just like any other band. Like the best bands of all time, a lot of them break up.
I'm just saying.
but
I mean,
but this is why I'm not saying they're not a great band, but I'm saying that's why I feel Queen is better.
Okay, well,
Queen was a much more linked, like
Hey,
they
they broke up
really-
for how long?
I know they broke up.
No, they didn't break up.
Freddie Mercury left the band.
Oh,
no,
they
he
went on
didn't.
hiatus.
No, you're quoting a fucking movie that was so.
You're basically quoting a movie by telling me how great they got along. How do you know? Like,
No, I'm not quoting them.
you're like,
I'm
oh, they're
talking
like
about,
a family. They
they
had a
were.
tight-knit
They
community.
were. That's why
How
they
do you
still
know?
because okay, well, stories. Yeah, I mean,
Oh my god, a
reading.
fucking movie or
'Cause
some
reading.
stories?
No,
Oh, holy shit!
the movie of Queen is fictionalized. It's extremely
Sure.
fictionalized. You can't go by that. That's not historically correct.
Sure,
There's lots of things that are not historically correct.
it's like
but even Queen now won't call themselves Queen with any other singer. They're
Well,
Queen
what I'm
plus
there was
Adam Lambert. Queen plus.
It's like any relationship, though. You know what I mean? It's the same as a marriage, and I'd say it, and I use the marriage analogy a lot on the air when I'm talking about bands breaking up, and fans want those bands to get back together. Like, you go to a party with friends, old friends, and they want you to bring your ex-wife. It's the same fucking thing. But you used to
I
love
know.
her. You used to have a great relationship with her. It's
Right.
the same as a band.
But I'm just saying. I feel like they were more tight knit. They were a group. To me,
That's
a
good,
personal
that's
opinion.
a good point.
I mean, there's family bands like the Partridge Family that were an actual family and they fucking sucked.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Queen sucked, but I'm just saying.
It's something that to me is respectable about a band that can meet and be, and they all were great writers. They, I mean, like I said, we talked about this last time. They all wrote multiple number one singles.
Oh, yeah, they
There's
did.
no other band.
But
did.
I bet. Well,
No other
first
band?
of all, the band. I know the Beatles wrote way more number one singles.
No, I'm not. I'm saying each member of the band. wrote
Yeah,
multiple.
That's
it's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant.
Okay, well,
That's irrelevant.
It
I don't
doesn't
know. I
matter.
don't know. It's not. It does matter. I think it does matter. They were, because they could have had egos, because they were amazing musicians. They were amazing writers. Someone could have said, "Look, it's all about me. I write the number one singles. I'm doing this," which ruins a lot of bands because egos get in the way. But Queen didn't let that happen. They all shared it. They wrote it, and they were all amazing. And that's my point.
Good for them, but
Yeah,
they still weren't better
But they
than
didn't have as many good
they,
songs.
they still
they didn't have as many great songs.
All right,
so I
Levi's
went
got a
through.
phone. Levi's got
Yep.
a phone out.
I
here,
went-
so I'm
I
gonna
went
look.
through-
You made us fucking do research.
I know
Yeah.
I did. I know.
Because just saying how many songs can you name, there's too many variables in that shit. So
Because you could just, because I know a lot of deep tracks, so I could just say deep tracks is
Right.
shit people don't know.
so I went through and I listed all of the hits
Okay.
of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bands. 5 bands.
All right. What five bands are we talking about?
The Beatles,
Rolling Stones.
Rolling Stones, Queen, The Who, and the Beach Boys.
Okay.
I can probably.
Beach Boys even brought up.
I have more. Not last
No,
one.
but I thought
Okay.
about bringing them up, but I declined.
I was going to bring them up because I
Thank
think they are.
Can I have
So
one? Thank you, sir.
Queen, I have 9. 9 hits.
What are they?
Legitimate hits, like top hits.
Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody, We Will Rock You, We Are the Champions, Don't Stop Me Now, Somebody to Love, Killer Queen, and even Somebody to Love was kind of a.
I could actually get on our computer over here and look into the station system, all the songs, and pull up all the songs if I wanted to.
So, Somebody to Love, Killer Queen, Crazy Little Thing Called Love, Fat Bottom Girls, I Want It All, and You're My Best Friend.
Okay.
So that's 9.
9 hits.
9 hits.
9 hits. Now, what is a hit? Those are number 1 singles.
No,
No,
not necessarily.
Oh, those
just hits.
Just
hits.
It could be a top 10. It could be
All
a
right,
hit
so
that
those
was
are
on the
hits.
charts for a long time.
They're hits that
That everybody knows usually.
right.
Right. Okay.
I would say
I
what's
am
the criteria there? The average rock fan? That
not even the average rock fan,
Even
because
the
I
above
consider
average.
myself very well versed in music.
Sure.
There are some things that I'm reasonably ignorant about, but for the most part, I'm very well versed in rock music.
Okay.
So
Beatles.
the Stones, or
Stones?
no, we'll go with the Who next.
Yeah.
The Who, I came up with 11.
All right. Name those. I want to hear them.
Bob O'Reilly, Pinball Wizard, Won't Get Fooled Again, Behind Blue Eyes, Eminence Front, My Generation, Love Reign Over Me, I Can See for Miles, Magic Bus, Happy Jack, and Squeezebox.
Okay.
I don't know if I'd put Happy Jack on there because I don't know that one. But I guess it doesn't really matter.
I heard it on the radio. I heard it on the radio today.
Really? My
The
radio?
oldest, no, the oldest station.
Oh, thanks.
So that's
I don't know. Well, again, I consider myself okay. All right. Here's where we got to. I consider myself an average
Mhm.
rock fan, right? I don't know a diverse, but I didn't know every one of those songs. No, I did not.
Well, I do.
Okay, well,
Here's the thing.
But that doesn't make it a
but-
hit just because you know it.
Here's the
I
thing.
mean,
No, but
I think the average person should
Here's
know
the
it.
thing.
But I'm not. I didn't say these are the songs that I know, because I don't say anything because I didn't list a lot of songs that I know.
Well,
And
no, I know.
I only listed the songs that I know that I've heard on the radio that are hits,
okay.
because I mean they're still on the fucking radio, so they've been hits.
Okay.
I think we're doing because we can't hear the songs, we're doing ourselves a disservice. Like we could play it off our phone or something.
Then
I don't know if YouTube would shut us down, but
they probably would.
yeah. But the songs that he listed, most of the songs that he listed,
I
you
would
just
know if I
don't know.
heard it.
You know,
Yeah.
Okay.
because it's like
All right.
bingo, bitch. When you're playing at a right brain, you fucking see all the titles right there, but you don't know what
You
it
don't
is.
know what
You
it
hear
is.
the song,
Yeah,
you know it.
Yeah. All right.
know?
All right. I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
So that's the Who, and
that's
then
the
we'll
Who.
do the Rolling Stones next. I have 20 Rolling Stones hits. Painted Black, Give Me Shelter, Sympathy for the Devil. And if you don't know a song, let me know and I'll bring it up.
No, but before you finish with Stones, they've been around for, I mean, a
50
long
years.
fucking time.
50
And
years.
and what they have in their favor is that they're all still fucking alive. I mean,
More or
Freddie Mercury died.
Well,
I mean, the
thing.
front man, I mean, he was
When I hear people make this argument a lot, when you get bands that have been around for 50 years and they say, yeah, what have they done in however long?
But
Here's the
all
thing.
of these songs were in the span of 15 years.
all right. So
Right,
you're
but what I'm
not
saying-
putting any new ones in
But
there.
what I'm saying, no, nobody would really put any new ones in there because most people don't know them. It's just the way it is when a band because the Rolling Stones released a blues cover album, probably 5 or 6 years ago,
Right.
which was really good, but nobody knew about it. It just like new rock from classic rock artists that old, they just don't get played. They might get a spin here or there, but just nobody cares enough
To play
because
them.
they just have this thing where it's just going to be Stones and whatever. But
All right.
that's it doesn't get airplay. Like new Pink Floyd was fucking great, but it was really long songs. They weren't going on the fucking radio.
It was
You
all
know,
instrumental.
You only
Right.
you
It was
only
all
get
instrumental.
away with that if you're a Tool. I mean, that's the only way you can get played.
Pretty much.
Pretty much that length of a song on the radio.
For good reason.
Yes.
So sympathy for the Devil, Angie, Wild Horses, Satisfaction, You Can't Always Get What You Want, Jumpin' Jack Flash, Start Me Up, Beast of Burden, Honky Tonk Woman, Missed You, Under My Thumb, Brown Sugar, Ruby Tuesday, She's So Cold, Time is on my side. Let's spend the night together. It's only rock and roll and tumbling dice.
And I can vouch that all of those are legitimate.
Oh no,
hits
no,
from Rolling
yeah,
Stones.
I agree.
Sure.
I agree.
How many
I don't
were
think they're. I don't think
There's
there's
a lot.
20.
I don't
Yeah.
think they're great songs, personally.
Dude,
I don't think they're
all
great
right.
songs.
Painted
that's-
Black.
that's just-
Painted Black is my absolute
I
favorite
didn't say
song
that
of all time.
I didn't say that all weren't great songs. I
That's-
just don't think that there are great songs in that list. I just don't think they're all
Painted
great
Black
songs.
is one of my favorite songs of all time. Top 5 songs of all time. It is the song that got me into rock and roll. The song that got me into rock and roll. Up until that point, I was listening to fucking Kenny Rogers and shit. And on
well, then
TV, there was
thank God. I'm glad that Painted Black existed. Got
Me
you,
too.
Got you
me
into rock
too.
and roll.
Because God damn it, like if I was listening to country my
Kenny
whole life,
right.
It'd be bad news.
Yeah.
But I was watching this Rolling Stones concert on TV, and that song came on, and I'm like, oh shit! Like it was like I was feeling different ways about music. Like it didn't sound like it wasn't nice music, which is why I love rock music, because it is not nice music by its general
Right.
anything. You know, it's dirty and gnarly.
All right.
All right,
What
so,
do you got? Beach Boys.
Beach Boys. God
many?
only knows. 14 of them. 14.
All right.
God Only Knows, which was John Lennon's favorite song ever.
That's a great song.
God Only Knows, Wouldn't It Be Nice, Don't Worry Baby, Kokomo, I Get Around, Surfing USA, Surfing Safari, Fun, 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 Barbara Ann, Help Me Rhonda, Surfer Girl, 409, Be True to Your School, and California Girls.
And
Right.
there was a time maybe you could have put it maybe in the early days. I don't know if they would have been classified as a boy band, but that's fucking God. Those songs were
Okay,
so good.
Can I just tell you though? I love the Beach Boys.
I love
The Beach
love
Boys
the
are-
Beach
Dude,
Boys.
We listen to the fuck out of Beach
So-
Boys.
Yeah, Beach Boys are fucking amazing.
Yeah.
But I will say, a lot of those songs are very, very, very similar. They weren't diverse. I don't think that they had a big
No, I'll
range.
give you that.
I
I'll
don't
give-
think they had a big range.
give you
I
that.
mean, as far
I
as
think most
style,
of them.
a
As,
lot of
as-
those songs were similar.
and that was the big thing about the album Pet Sounds.
Mhm.
It was so dissimilar from every other album that they had.
That was because it was just Brian Wilson with like his team of fucking not
Right.
songwriters, but performers. Like he
Performers,
wrote the
yeah.
songs for the most part. But I feel like most of the Beach Boys were probably fairly limited musicians. You know, they wanted to play that same style all the time, just do the fucking beachy
Right.
shit.
Well, it was good. It was good, and
Yeah.
and it worked for them. But that's another reason that I feel Queen is you know a step ahead.
That's
the
that is one
diversity.
thing that Queen had going for them, and nothing was formulaic about it.
Right. Yeah. Everything. The songs were so dramatically different, but still good.
Right.
The same way.
And then the Beatles,
Beatles. All right. Here we go. That's
24
a
of them.
fuck ton. Yeah.
Hey Jude, Here Comes the Sun, Help, Hard Day's Night, Yesterday,
And
Let It Be.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, dude, but like even with just those 4 songs that he listed, 5 songs he listed right
Yeah.
there, those automatically make them better than Queen. Those are outside of Bohemian Rhapsody and like maybe a couple other ones. Yeah, they were really good rock songs, but these are not only rock songs, but just some
They
of
were
the
the
fucking
first-
greatest songs ever written.
I call them the most influential. I will give you that. They are the most influential band in history.
And
I will
The
concede to
greatest songwriting duo
that. Paul
probably
McCartney
ever.
and John Lennon.
Probably ever.
Yeah.
All
All
right,
right.
sorry.
Probably.
T-
So,
sorry to
anyway,
interrupt.
keep going. Keep going.
So Hard Day's Night, Yesterday, Let It Be, Come Together, Something in the Way, Yellow Submarine, Eleanor Rigby, Twist and Shout, Penny Lane, A Day in the Life, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Obla Di, Obla Da, Strawberry Fields, and I Love Her, In My Life, We Can Work It Out, All You Need Is Love, Love Me Do, With a Little Help from My Friends, and I Saw Her Standing There. Those were the 24
All
that
right.
I listed as
And I
legit.
think that's a very good
great
argument.
hits.
And again, I think now they, unlike the Beach Boys, were extreme. I mean, those songs were so different. Everything you just listed. I mean, there's so many different musical genres going on there, and they might have been arguably been the first. I don't know at the
Fuck,
time.
I didn't even do
metal-
Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, you can do. Hang on, you get Led Zeppelin.
But they might have. I mean, that like Hey Jude when they were like screaming. I mean, there was no one doing that. I mean, there was no one screaming like the Beatles.
Yeah,
I mean,
but they were
it was
just
like the metal of
but
the
they
time.
were still just vastly better songs.
I don't think they're vastly better
Yeah,
songs. I disagree
think
with
they're
that.
just vastly better
I
songs.
think that they wrote songs that appealed to.
I'm going to give you another one.
All right,
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd.
Pink Floyd. Wish You Were Here. Money. And I just brought this up. I don't have a number in my head.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't count them out.
Right, okay, that's fine.
Wish You Were Here. Money. Comfortably Numb. Another Brick in the Wall. Part 2, which is the one everybody knows. Hey You. Breathe. Have a Cigar. Brain Damage. Time. Welcome to the Machine. Mother. Young Lust. Learning to Fly. On the Run. Eclipse.
Okay, now
Those are all songs people know.
And I think there's a lot more Queen songs than the 11 that you listed. I was going by. I don't know what makes them hits, but there's definitely a lot more songs that people know than those 11 Queen songs that you listed.
Yeah, and a lot of really good.
And
ones.
whether they play them on the radio or not,
but
you know, I think I think you can still call them hits.
My point in this study is that there's a difference between what your favorite band is, because my top 5 favorite bands are not listed among. I would not list among the best bands,
right? Because I'm having a hard time. I'm on the fence of putting Foo Fighters above Queen right now, and I know we could have this whole debate. Because I really feel like throughout the course of their 25 now year career,
Foo
every album they have at least 2 that gets on the radio.
Right.
That stay on the radio.
Right.
You know what I mean? And those are well fucking written. Riffs are still heavy and still good riffs. Genuine fucking based in punk rock fucking rock.
Then you got, I mean, Nirvana deserves a spot up there in rock bands. I think because again, well, if you're talking influential, they changed what rock was when they came. But again, that's why I think that you can't say influential and best in the same sentence, because Beatles,
no, but influence has a lot to do with it.
Nirvana, influential, they are in the top 5. Best, I don't know. They changed what rock and roll was at the time when they came into the.
Frank Zappa was super influential.
Yeah, exactly.
But I wouldn't put him up there among the best.
No. But my position is there's a clear cut, top 3, maybe 4 bands of all time.
Okay,
and those are, like I said last time, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, the Rolling Stones, and maybe I would probably put the Beach Boys up there too. And then the rest of the top 10 are like this kind of fluid, ever-changing, rotating thing,
right?
Because you could name another 15 or 20 bands that you could say, I'm putting this band in the top 10 for this reason or that reason.
I think the best way to put, as far as best bands, how much of a game changer the bands were, they came along.
No, you're going. Then you're influential. That doesn't make them the best. It makes them influential at the time.
But they
changed the game.
A band's influence, it has that's a big weight on the scale of whether you're one of the best bands or not.
No, it is. I know, but I don't. That's why I wouldn't put Beach Boys there. I don't think they were influential in any way. They were great musicians. Amazing.
Huge.
That's the only reason the Beatles have Sgt. Pepper. Their best album is because fucking they heard Pet Sounds and went, Jesus fucking Christ, we got to make something better than that, because that's the best thing we've ever heard.
Okay, well, and that's where I don't think that they changed rock and roll though.
And all the bands.
So they made what you think is the best band ever.
I don't know
make
if they
a better album. That doesn't make them
right, but I don't know if the Beatles the Beach Boys were game changers. That album was a game changer.
Okay,
I think that the Beach Boys were a game changer because they had at least 4 or 5 other bands that sounded almost exactly like them. Because everybody was like, we need to sound like the Beach Boys.
They tried, but you can never be that. Right. I mean, because they were it. They were the sound. You can't replicate the Beach Boys. You just can't.
There were a couple like Janet Dean. Janet Dean sounded almost exactly like
Janet Dean did. We watched this fucking documentary.
Didn't get anywhere near the
No, they had 2 or 3 like big hits.
right. That's it.
We watched a documentary on Netflix yesterday. What the fuck was the name of that?
Echo in the Canyon.
Echo in the Canyon. It was about the music scene in Laurel Canyon in California and Los Angeles in the 60s, and it featured featured the Beach Boys, and it featured like the Mamas and the Papas and the Birds.
Right.
And fucking who else was featured in that? You
Uh,
remember?
the
It was a
Beatles-
really good documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
I'll have to check it out.
The
But-
Beatles were big in that.
But there's so many other people like Jimi Hendrix that man could have changed. I mean,
They
already
did.
changed, but
I
could
think
have done so much more. I mean,
right,
Janis
he's
Joplin.
fucking- yeah.
Janis Joplin was another one. Like people that just didn't have the time on Earth to be.
But
as big
but
as
even
it could,
even in Jimi Hendrix's short career, he's still
He
he's,
put out a
he's
fuck
by
ton of
far he's by
output.
far
I put him.
he's
in-
by far the most influential guitar player of all time.
I agree.
Maybe Eric Clapton, but still Jimi Hendrix.
I mean,
And-
even Eric
Man, that's
Clapton,
that's a whole different podcast, isn't it?
Right.
Like you
It
could
is.
fucking like.
I mean,
I would
even-
put fucking. I would put Eddie Van Halen and Chuck Berry on there too. But anyway,
right? But my point being is that that's, there are people who were there and were had the potential, just didn't get the time. And I put Queen in there. I think they had the potential. They had a long career. Don't get me wrong, but I think they still had a lot more to give. I think if they were still around, still doing what like the Stones are doing, we would be having a completely different
could,
conversation right now.
but they were kind of, up until Live Aid, and I don't know. There was a time in that Queen was really underrated.
right.
I feel like, and that kind of changed around the time Wayne's World came out. And
well, that at that point,
that
Freddie Mercury
they
was already
made
dead.
Queen huge. Right. What I'm
Yeah.
saying is it made Queen huge again,
right.
and then that Freddie Mercury tribute concert
Mhm.
that was at Wembley Stadium that Guns N' Roses and Queen
Right.
played in and Metallica played in. That's Queen really had a resurgence in that time. I think they were just kind of written off before he died. Before they even got sick.
They have, in my view, they have a similar career arc that like what the fuck.
Yeah, that's why I put that
Come
on
on, man. We're having
A
a
similar
deep
career
conversation.
arc to Aerosmith.
All right, similar. I'd say similar. But Aerosmith, they're all still there. They just don't.
They're
get
all still
along.
there, but they haven't done anything worthwhile in 20 years.
The one
No,
album, Honkin'
but-
on Bobo, was pretty
but-
good.
Fucking right. But
Sorry.
no, they haven't. And that says something about them. I think Queen would have, though. I really do, because I mean, Freddie Mercury was on his deathbed when he recorded "Show Must Go On." I think one of the best Queen songs of all time. And they didn't even think he'd be able to do the vocals because he was so sick.
Mhm.
But he fucking did it in one take. It's crazy
Yeah, it was fucking
because he's
great.
Freddie Mercury.
right.
Like, we're not debating the greatness
No,
of Freddie
my
Mercury.
point being is I don't think that I don't think they would have taken the same trajectory as Aerosmith. I think they would have their best years were ahead of them, man.
no, their best years were not ahead of them.
I think they were. Dude, like I said, they
I
were
feel like they-
powerful.
They could have had I feel like they could have had a sprinkling, a smattering of
I don't-
influence and decent songs, but they wouldn't have had really any more hits
oh,
because
I feel like-
when was the last Queen hit?
dude, like I said, he was on his deathbed when they recorded "Show Must Go On." Is that not a hit? Is "Show Must Go On" not a
I
hit?
don't know
I mean,
what
I
song
know
that
the
is.
song, but
"Show
it's
Must
not
Go
a
On."
hit.
That is a fucking hit. All right, how many
I
people
don't
you got listening right now? We got 2
I don't
viewers.
know.
You got 2 viewers again, at least
Zero.
2. 0.
Two.
Two.
About the same as the last one.
Hey, you 2 people, message in. Tell these motherfuckers that.
We don't take messages on the podcast.
Well, I don't know. I'm make a comment on the fucking YouTube thing.
No, here's the
Fucking
thing.
"Show Must Go On" is a
was-
fucking hit.
No, here's
Okay,
the thing.
that
It
is
was
a hit.
It was a hit.
It's one of the best fucking Queen songs of all time.
I would agree with you that it was a hit.
Okay,
Actually.
Thank you.
I don't know how big of a hit it was. There's very mild hits that hit the radio for a while, and then they go away, and then just the diehards know them. And it's just the way it is. Just like the segment.
It was on fucking Moulin Rouge, man. Moulin Rouge. Even
oh my god, yeah, crazy Total Rock movie.
You know how many times I've seen Moulin Rouge?
Huh?
Zero. Zero times
they still
watching
chose
Moulin Rouge.
That was the Queen song. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but they chose a bunch of other shitty music too.
Elton John.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. No, I'm not asking. I'm telling you.
Okay.
Yes, they did. I mean,
yeah, but it was
good
shitty song too.
No, they were good songs. They're good.
I feel like
influential songs.
I feel like you have logic in arguments like my ex-girlfriend.
Oh, really?
Not like a lot.
Okay.
This is weird logic.
Does your ex-girlfriend listen to the podcast?
Sometimes.
Okay, well,
she knows this.
You can tell her I like her a lot because if we're sharing logic, then we're on the same page.
Look, she makes fun of her own fucking logic.
Okay.
All right, she knows how it is.
All right, explain. You got to explain my logic compared to hers. Like, what is it? What does
It's
that mean?
because when I present you with facts, or when you are presented with facts, you let your emotions take over your fucking arguments.
Oh, I see.
You let how much you love the band dictate these logical fucking arguments that are being presented to you.
It's not true because Show Must Go On is a hit.
Sure, it's a hit. It's not.
That's not emotional.
Wait a minute. Just because the song was released as a single and
no.
on the radio
I'm not saying
I'm
not saying it was a single. There is a song that most people know. Most people know the song "Show Must Go On." And we can do.
I got this.
You're gonna put this on Facebook and see who knows it, who doesn't know it.
No, I'm gonna fucking look up the song.
What do you need to look it up for?
Because I'm gonna look up, see how big of a fucking hit it was.
It doesn't matter. Put it on Facebook. Do a little Facebook thing on there,
dude. There's a keyboard over there. I don't have a keyboard right here.
We're playing. Who's playing it?
Levi's playing it on his phone in his fucking head. So he
never
hear
heard
the
that song. You called yourself very versed in rock and roll music, and you don't know this song. I'm just saying.
That's
we can do.
Okay, here we go. Shut up.
We can do a poll. Let's do a Facebook poll. Who knows? It's an amazing fucking song.
Shut the fuck up.
Sorry. All right.
It was released as a single in the UK in October '91 in promotion of the Greatest Hits 2 album, just weeks before Mercury died.
Yep.
Following Mercury's death, the song re-entered the British charts, spent as many weeks in the top 75 as it did upon its original release, initially reaching a peak of 16. It was a mediocre hit, like I fucking said.
People,
so it was only
people know it.
It was really only a hit because he died.
No,
and it was.
I disagree.
And it was the last single.
That's
that they
true.
released.
That's so true.
No, you're wrong.
It's so true. It was a posthumous release.
It's like when Michael Jackson died, all of his fucking shit went through the roof.
Oh yeah, every time somebody dies, fucking oh my god, Motorhead selling a bunch of fucking records because Lemmy died. Crazy.
That's not always the case though. I mean.
But it was the case.
In that
case,
it was.
No,
because,
it wasn't.
Yeah, because
it's a great fucking song.
But look, it doesn't matter if a single is in the charts and then it's not in the charts. It takes something to get back in the charts. People don't just pick up the album and say, "Oh, I really like this song again."
I know. I'm not saying that they just. I'm not saying it's a hit because it went back in the charts. It charted before he died.
Yeah, not very high.
It doesn't matter.
It charted higher after he died.
Well, yeah. I mean,
it was in the top 75 hits
for 5 weeks. That's it.
Yeah. Okay.
It wasn't fucking
a month. That's a drop in the
didn't hit number one.
That's a drop in
the bucket. It wasn't
bucket.
number one.
Okay. You know what?
They radio stations stopped playing that shit after like fucking.
You guys are hilarious because my last time I was here. It doesn't matter if they play it on the radio. It doesn't matter if there's a number one single. It doesn't matter.
But that's what a hit means.
Well, okay, but it was a hit. It was a hit. Whether it's mediocre or whatever, it's still charted.
Now
we are arguing the validity of your argument that song was a hit.
That's different. Listen to me, please. On top of the hits from the Rolling Stones and the Beatles that he listed and that I know, there are many more songs that they released that were mediocre hits that you don't fucking remember. I bet there would be.
No, you're not going to put them on the same level as The Show Must Go On.
Huh?
You're not going to. You're talking about Rolling Stones mediocre hits that nobody knows. You're going to put them on the same level as The Show Must Go On.
He does it. He knows rock music. He didn't know that fucking song.
You should listen to it. It's really good.
So that's what I'm saying.
It sounded like it was like it should be on a fucking
Moulin Rouge?
an 80s an 80s fantasy cartoon.
No. I mean, yes, they did Highlander too. Don't worry about that.
Right.
That was their other song.
Right. That's
So
that's
to
my whole thing.
recap, you have logic like my ex-girlfriend.
Okay. All right. We can recap. But you know what? Your 2 viewers are going to agree with me.
Yeah,
At
I
some
bet.
point-
Yeah, I bet.
They will. And you watch. And there's going to be people watch later. And the comments are going to be, I know show must go on. I know what that is. And you guys are fucking dumb. That's what's going to happen. It's okay, though, because you lost the first argument. You can lose this one. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. See, you have my ex-girlfriend's logic.
You can't
You
just
just
Emotion.
did
I
that.
can't.
you can't
see
win
it
just
logically.
because you say I win. That's what he does.
You just like to deny facts.
Well, man, that must have been a great relationship. So you said you win because you win, and she has logic based on emotion.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see how that goes.
And I just go, whatever.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
You're like, all right, yeah, I like it.
Because I'm content knowing in my head that I'm right.
So
No,
you
here's
don't
the
need
thing.
anyone else to know you're right.
It's weird because I like to argue. I don't like to
I
get
think it's healthy.
I don't like
it's
to
a
get
healthy
in, I
argument.
don't like to get in fights. I just think having a good argument is fun.
Well, okay. You know what?
Sometimes. But a lot of times especially with her, I didn't need to argue because she just kept saying the illogical things regardless if I was talking or not.
No, but you know what I like about this? About
Just kidding.
like, being able to talk.
Just
I
kidding.
just well, let you know, ex-girlfriend. I was just kidding.
Yeah.
I like this because it lets people see you can have a debate and get excited about it,
Mhm.
but it doesn't mean you have to fucking
Well,
fight about it.
And I was telling Josh before you
He's
came into
passionate.
the room, I said, I don't even like, the whole point is not to have an argument.
Right.
I love having the conversation, man.
Right.
Like we wanted to do podcasts about like musical, just talking about different shit
Right.
in different bands. And so it's just fun.
It is
It's
fun.
just fun.
I
would love
appreciate
to
you bringing me back. And this is like number 5 for me now.
No, it's a half one.
Oh, half one. Okay, this is my other half.
yeah.
The other half of the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Makes
All right,
it
I'm
a
still-
2-hour podcast.
Huh?
Makes it a 2-hour podcast.
All right. I'm like 4.5 then.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
I still feel like an important
I
person.
mean, we won the argument.
Okay.
You know?
we'll see.
See?
We'll see from your
See, I won.
plethora.
That's what that's
Yeah.
that's what he does. When he's decided the argument my argument is over.
It's done.
he's- No,
I
win.
won. Okay.
Well, that's
done.
I
But
have,
it
I have
time.
control of the podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
I have
We'll
control of
see
the podcast.
from like again from the plethora of viewers that you get. We'll just see. Well, let's just let the audience weigh in, and we'll see what the comments are.
Yeah.
Next time
We'll talk about the comments.
we'll see who can name the most classical composers.
No, dude, I wouldn't.
I can handle that. I can do
wouldn't.
that.
I'll let you
Yeah.
guys do it because I don't care to look it up. I don't care fucking playing that game. I don't care to.
But I do think I want to come back. Give it a couple weeks. But I want to come back and read the comments because there's going to be comments. I mean, there's already comments from the first podcast, and I know people are going to listen to this.
There's no comments on the first podcast.
not on the
I haven't seen
YouTube,
any. Oh,
but on the ones I shared.
Dude,
on my
nobody-
page.
Nobody-
nobody. Here's the thing. At this point, I look at the views on the podcast, and I'm just like, I don't give a shit. I'm just doing it for ourselves. We're just
All
doing
right.
it for ourselves. I don't care if 40 people watch it or
People-
whatever.
Who are listening, go to the YouTube fucking video and comment so we can read them in a couple weeks.
I don't. I thought about going Facebook Live with these as well because I just want people to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit if it's on YouTube or anything. Do you care?
No.
Like if we were to go live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time?
Go ahead.
I mean,
Yeah.
what do you think
Fuck do
about
I
that?
care?
I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know how this shit works. I just
Alright.
come in here and talk.
Well, either way, again, if you're listening still, which congratulations, you made it this far. But yeah, comment, let us know. So when I come back, we can read them. We'll see. We'll digest it at that point.
That
We don't know.
that will give people the impression that I care about what they think and say.
Here's the thing.
And I try to nix that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Man, I don't even know if it would be possible to change our mind.
Well, I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just think it'd be fun to see what
Because
people say.
most arguments, I happen to think about. I wonder if they're going to make me change my mind because it's possible.
It is. No,
In this case, it would be impossible for me to change my mind because it is rooted in such deep logic rather than emotion.
okay, that's good. And mine's I think it's logic, but it's probably emotion.
It's
not.
emotion. It's
It's not.
straight emotion.
Look, I've learned.
Be-
you know what I've learned about you?
What?
You
What's
fight
that?
with your heart.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's a good trait. That's a good trait.
You have found it totally impossible to differentiate between favorite and
Uh-huh.
best.
Right. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, my favorite color is green.
It's not the best
That
color.
might not be the best color. I don't know.
Yellow's the best color. We'll save that for the next podcast because I think yellow's is. and
What's
I
the
got-
best color, you guys?
No, that was good. That's good.
We're done.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Way to win.
Thanks.
Way to win.
No, it's good.
Way to win, Goose.
I know what actually went down. That's all right. Don't worry about it.
Who went down?
What went down? I won. It doesn't matter. I got it.
All right.
Are we done? We done?
We are now.
All right.